and I know how great I am. So I know the potential opportunities that are gonna be brought to me. It was the centennial, and my wanted to fuck with us for the centennial, straight up. It was smart for them, and it was smart for us. It was like, it was good for me to challenge myself and like discover what it is I naturally start to do. Cause yeah, I like what that person's doing, but what in my spirit, what is like being pulled out of me naturally. Write all the music you want, record all the music you want, but when you put something together, definitely be strategic when how you put it together.
And then he just goes in and...
It was really cool to watch him work.
Gangsta Grillz is
it was tight. Now, I don't know how he works with every other person, but it seems like that's the process. It's like people come with their thing, and then he just gets on it. He listens to it and feels it, and then goes in. It was really cool to watch him create, because it's almost like poetic with it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Back again, we got, well, not you, but me.
I was about to say, this
back,
is my
another
first
interview.
time.
We got a very special guest, Ayilla, sitting down with us. How are you?
I'm good. Am I good? I'm good. I'm good. I'm in a good place right now. Today's good.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a new moon, Gemini.
Okay, I wanted to get into some of that with you, but not quite. I don't really, but we'll
we
get there.
We get there.
It is the first one, so I want to go, kind of start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right, so you grew up in Grove, is that right?
Y'all bow with it?
Nardwuar.
Yeah, oh shit, yes I did. That's crazy, yeah.
Okay, how was that?
Oh, it was something. It was, well, I grew up kind of country, so like I spent a lot of time in the woods in like
Grove, you don't really got that
four-wheelers
choice, right?
and fishing, and I know how to do all that shit. So yeah, it was fun.
Okay.
It was something. It was a lot. It was childhood, so it's like equally, I'm outside because, you know, trauma, you know, so it's like, it's back and forth. But do I want to go back? No.
Okay.
So that's sums it up.
Tulsa's home now, right?
Tulsa's home now,
Tulsa's
yes.
home now. Since
yes.
what, you said high school, moved to Tulsa?
8th grade.
Okay.
8th grade, yeah. Yep, so I did like a year in Verdigris, which is like in between here well, not here, but Tulsa and Grove. And then I did 8th grade in Tulsa and have been there ever since.
Okay.
I mean, I went to college, but that's home. So.
Was that a shock to you? I mean.
Oh, hell yeah, that was a shock. I went from being like, mind you, I'm mixed as fuck. So I went from being like the black person in Grove to like not, you know? So yeah, it was an interesting culture shock. My first day of school was fun.
Where'd you go?
I went to Bird my first year, and then I went to Memorial. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. And so, I mean, is music always like in the picture, you know?
Like since I was a child? And I mean, yes, music has always been in the picture. That's what I've always been called to, because I just love music. And then like when I was younger, playing around on the piano, stuff like that. I did lessons when I was younger on piano. Didn't like stick with them. Well, my parents didn't stick with them for me. I was a child. And then, yeah, I went on to high school. I was in choir. So I was mainly a basketball player, and that's what took me to college. And then first 2 years were like, I was like, I'm playing overseas. And then went to another school that was trash. And it was like, it's not happening, and I don't like this. And I started hitting open mics in Tulsa and kind of found my love. Yeah, found my love again, I guess you could say. Was
there anything, I mean, besides realizing, you know, the basketball may not be the route, was there anything that drew you to music at that time?
Yeah, so I was bored as fuck at school in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, because I went there after my 2 years at NEO, and yeah, it was awful. It was good because I learned a lot about myself in dealing with that type of environment again, because it was almost like back in Grove, but like add politics and extreme Christianity. So it was like, it was a lot. But my escape was coming back home to Tulsa. I was finally old enough to get into the bars and shit, and I stumbled upon the Yeti. So the Yeti is now closed, but they used to do a lot of live music and stuff. So yeah. And then I hit like a couple, when I hit my first open mic, I was like, oh yeah, it's my shit.
So you went straight on stage?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not like the normal.
Yeah. Well, like, the first thing I stumbled into was like an open mic, and I just felt called to do that shit. And the first person I saw rap was, forgive me, what is his name? No, Mr. Burns. And he had on the Doom mask, and he's rapping every word of Devin the Dude and Doobie Ashtray. And I was just like fascinated, you know, because I haven't seen a lot of live music, anything like that. I was too young to get into the bars and stuff. So that was like my first person I saw like really just go crazy on the mic. And then like I was like, hell yeah, I want to go do that shit. So I hop on stage and just like fell in love with it. So it was at the Situation, to be exact, that specific moment, I believe. So yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to them.
And that was what, like 2017, 18?
17, 18, yeah. That's about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you started out rapping. Like.
Oh yeah, I thought I was gonna be Mr. Burns. I was like, I will be Mr. Burns, J. Cole, Kendrick. Like everything I wrote at first was straight like bars. So, and then I just started developing on stage, which is like something I'm really blessed that happened before COVID, because after COVID things were so fucking weird, and really I don't think things have, I don't know, I'm not like as much doing open mics, so they might have recovered, but at the time it was just like band on stage, come get on the mic. And at the Situation, they was like, if you ain't good, get the fuck out. Like, they wasn't playing that everybody gets a gold medal shit. Like, I've seen people booed the fuck off stage. So it was like, it was good for me to challenge myself and like discover what it is I naturally start to do. Because yeah, I like what that person's doing, but what in my spirit, what is like being pulled out of me naturally. And yes, at times it is rapping, but it started developing more into like singing and flowing and vibes and shit.
Yeah,
so yeah,
for sure. So at what point do you feel like it became something that you, I mean, I hate to be like, when do you take it serious? But like, you know, there's always a moment for people where they're like, okay, I'm gonna go to an open mic versus let me, you know, like figure out what I can do.
Well, I think the moment like really for me, and I know it sounds so crazy, but the moment I really hit the stage and I like felt that spark of the fire in my ass, like I'm talking, as soon as I got off that stage, I was like, okay, I'm coming back. Like, what's up? I'm coming back. I got the urge, and then I'm buying notebooks and I'm writing and I'm going crazy and I'm writing. I'm also like at the same time going through this super deep spiritual shit at the same time. So I used my writing as a means to get me through that shit, but it also was like, I would say it was immediate. Like, and then, okay, started writing seriously. Then I went to World Culture Music Fest before it moved out of the Yeti. And I met Two Piece actually that night. I actually met King Cut first because I performed, and he was like, yo, she the hardest motherfucker. He's running out the door. I'm like, what the fuck? And then, but then I met Two Piece that same night. So shout out to both of them. And the Gray. And yeah, got locked in with them and started hitting studio sessions and really discovering what it meant to be a recording artist and all of those things. But I pretty much took it seriously, like from the moment I hit the stage.
You started out in a much more serious, like that's more serious to get on stage. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people write and record and do all this shit for years and never hit a stage. So I was thrown off that was the first thing you ever did. Yeah, that was my first thing. And my first studio session, I will not mention the producer actually, just cause I don't want to be throwing shade or nothing, but like horrible experience. Like they were an asshole. They like just were a dick. And I was like, well, fuck you, you know, like, matter of fact, it was a whole moment. Anyways, it's crazy because two of those people that were in that session are now popping, which is funny. So basically, I'll tell the story, and if you know, you fucking know. Anyways, I came in, I didn't have a name in the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just coming in. This is my first fucking studio session. Come in, they're being assholes. It's two other people in the room, and they're like, basically trying to bully me with another grown-ass woman. And then when I go in there and I'm hard as fuck, they got real quiet, and then they tried to get the bitch to fight me. I said, oh my God, I have to go. This is ghetto. Like, don't be mad that y'all aren't good. It's okay. It's okay.
And then when I went back the second time, they were like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you free sessions." I'm like, now that I'm good.
So it was engineers, like multiple engineers?
It was an engineer, it was another person who at the time wasn't an artist, but now they're an artist and they're popping, which is funny.
From Tulsa?
Yeah. So good for them, which is good for them. Like, I hope they grew the fuck up, you know, and treat women better in the studio. But yeah, because you never know who that woman could be. Me, bitch. It was me. I developed. Okay, I grew the fuck up. Yeah. For
sure. So, let's fast forward a little bit. 2019, okay. You put your first album out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Crazy as we are.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean,
oh shit, I like that. I like that.
You put singles out and stuff like that before, but yeah. I mean, I'm always curious where somebody's head's at when they drop their first project, because sometimes it's not the right time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you feel like, just kind of looking back on that?
I felt like, for me, it was great, because I feel like timing really only matters when you have a crazy cult following. I could be wrong, this is just my opinion, but like, who gives a fuck when you're just growing? You know, like, when you're just starting out, it's like, just do it. Just fucking drop the shit and put it together and mess up and let it not be your best, or it might be your best, or whatever it is. It was just the act of starting something and finishing something and putting something collectively together. And in my mind, it wasn't at the time, and I do this now still, but it's good to be strategic, but sometimes it's good to just not give a fuck. Because sometimes when you put that strategic over art, it kind of takes away from being an artist. When you're thinking about too many outside things, you'll box yourself in, where it's like, just make the shit, drop the shit. I think when you're talking labels and things of that nature, then it's different, because it's other people's money, or whenever you're investing lots and lots of money and your time into it, which is all the time, but it just counteracted itself. But yeah, anyways.
For sure. I just think, and it's a little different with you, because your projects are more, like, I'm thinking more, I guess, like certain rappers. It's hard to get people to listen to 12 straight songs, or, you know what I mean?
Yes, be strategic with what you put on that shit. Like, definitely even with my shit, write all the music you want, record all the music you want, but when you put something together, definitely be strategic how you put it together, because you're right, like, attention spans are shit. And I don't know who recently said it, but somebody was talking about, like, songs not being over 2 minutes and they don't need a bridge. I think who the fuck was it? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. But I don't know if I agree with that all the way, but yeah, be strategic in a way, but not so much so that it takes away. Don't be so strategic in the booth, I guess you could say. And then, yeah, move forward with it strategically.
For sure. So is that when you felt like that project kind of some momentum started to pick up after that? Sure.
I think locally, yeah, definitely. I think it was, I believe I hosted the album at Silhouette. Silhouette had just opened. It was my first project in the town. I had grew in a fan base of just, because at the time I was so active, like at the open mics and like networking and building friendships, really. Friendships I still have. And I feel like when people, in Tulsa, it's like when people choose you, oh, they choose the fuck out of you. And I love it. And like, I really feel like Tulsa, the fans at that moment especially, like, really supported me. And I really appreciate that to this day. And I think they still do, but it's both on my first one and my second one. It was just like a lot of love in Tulsa behind it. So the first one was definitely more like local though, for sure.
But you touched on it a little bit, kind of being at the open mics and stuff like that, the importance of being out and, you know, making connections with people. That's what is gonna...
I'm a firm believer that's still the number one. I think social media is I don't know, they might be tied for two. That was a big reach. But I feel like, and I'll just use this as an example. I've never met you. But I know, like, after this, having us a good interaction face to face, I know that, like, next time I see you, there's a higher chance that I would have spoken to you next time I see you than if I just would have passed you at an event and I had never met you and talked to you and, like, had a real moment connection. So, like, yes, social media is good for marketing, but if you want to really connect with somebody, pull up on that ass. Pull up on that ass, go to the show, do the groundwork. Like, I'm a firm believer that that's still, I don't know if it's number one, but it's up there. It's definitely up there. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
for sure. So I want to talk about your experience. That was crazy. I want to talk about your experience with the FILA project.
Oh, yeah,
And I've gotten that same story from a lot of different, points of view. So just from your perspective.
Well, I want to know, what are the other people's? I want the tea. I'm just kidding.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But
I want the tea. No, my perspective. FILA did me well. I will say this. I'll say all good things, first of all, because my bills were paid for an X amount of time in my life. So thank you. Thank you, And I think the thing that as a group, and I think anything negative that comes from it might be not from me, because I ain't got nothing bad to say, because I feel like at the time I understood the industry a little bit differently, but expectations versus reality. And I think people's expectations might not have been met, so then they might feel some type of way. But I feel like when everything was happening, I just had discovered that can't nobody save you but you. In the industry, in whatever industry. So sometimes I think, not sometimes, most times people see famous people or Motown or big names and think this is it. This is the moment. When it's no, you have to make something of the moment. And even after that moment, there should be another one that you make. And then the one after that, you should make another one, but it's all on you. You can get an opportunity all day, but what do you do with the opportunity? So I think, it did well for me. I loved it. I had a great time at Motown.
Okay.
Yeah.
What taught you that lesson kind of before going into the situation?
I was studying a lot on labels, and just because I knew and I know how great I am, so I know the potential opportunities that are going to be brought to me. With that being said, I'm going to do the research on the back end on those opportunities before they come to me, so I can decide if that is for me. And a lot of that was in the label, in the entire industry of what a label is and what it does. And at the time, we were at a spot when labels really, you still had to do all the work. We're still there now, but it was at that time, I would say it was just being revealed. And so, I was just studying it and studying the industry, and I realized also it was very political. It was a very political project. So I'm that. No, I'm not gonna do that. Fuck that. Basically, it was a centennial, and motherfuckers wanted to fuck with us for the centennial. Straight up. It was smart for them, and it was smart for us. It's just what do you do with those opportunities at the same time? So I'm not gonna zip my mouth on it. It's politics. And when people want to attach themselves to something that will check a box on their, we help black people, that's what they'll do. And take the help, shit, fuck it. Make something of it though, Don't get your feelings hurt. It's business.
For sure.
Straight up.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then so transitioning kind of coming out of FILA, you dropped Mercialago with Pwap.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was a good time.
So I think you've told this story before, but kind of just talk about how that record came together.
Oh, so I made the record pre-hand, and I was just, man, this I have to remember now. Basically, yeah, it's been a minute. He was having his buzz, and who doesn't fucking love his shit, right? So the song itself had this energy, and I wanted to yin and yang it with, I have my vibe, but I wanted to come with the masculinity, and honestly, the first person I was Migos. I want that Migos fucking sound. And if you can't get Migos, who do you go get? Pwap, you know what I'm saying? Pwap, you know what I'm saying? Next best thing. So, yeah, so we just hit him up and he was down and he did a great job. He did a great job. So, it was really fairly simple, honestly. And then he came down, we shot the video. It was a good time. He's good people. Yeah, I fuck with him.
He is. Shout out to Wap. He's good people. The reason I specifically wanted to mention that is because I feel like that kind of transitioned into Kill Us Both, right?
Yeah.
So kind of tell that story.
Like the story of the song, or just like the Gangsta Grillz in general?
Just in general, kind of how that whole project came together and how you got linked up with Drama. And...
So, again, it was, so I believe I was running an ad, matter of fact, on the Mercialago song, and it's the one that he commented on. It was like, yo, this shit is fire, this, that, and the other. Thank you, you know, words were exchanged, DMs, thank you so much, this, that, and the other. And I was just like, how much for Gangsta Grillz? You know, let's make it happen. So that happened, honestly, probably like right after the Mercialago. So then time passed and still would communicate here and there, but at the time I'm building for my next project, and then time rolls around and we start putting the pieces together for this next project to be finished, and I was like, duh, like I have this, like it's the time is now. The time is now. So I just reached back out to him and he was like, yeah, let's go. So went out to Atlanta, met with him, showed him the project, still down, got in the studio the next day and did it, and that was the Gangsta Grillz. I know it's super simple, but
I've always wondered how that process works. Like, you brought the finished project, and then he just goes in and... It
was really cool to watch him work.
Gangsta Grillz
it was tight. Now, I don't know how he works with every other person, but it seems like that's the process. It's like people come with their thing, and then he just gets on it. He listens to it and feels it and then goes in. It was really cool to watch him create because it's almost like poetic with it, you know? So he has to listen to it, catch the vibes. It was great. Yeah. Never mind. Well, it was funny because this is like a love, you know, it's different. It's like R&B. So like he had his lady in front of him. It was great. It was like that was his inspiration.
Yeah, and it almost seems like if you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have known. It seems like that's the point of the album. Like y'all are talking to each other.
Yes, exactly. So it was cool. It was just cool the whole experience was like really a blessing. God fucks with me heavy. So like, I just be like, yo, how is this happening? But it is. So, but yeah, it was good. It was good. And it's also like, I was just having this conversation earlier. When a motherfucker tell me to pull up, I'll be like, let's go. Like, I'm here next week. What's up? So I'll be mindful. If you tell me to pull up, I'm gonna do it every time.
Okay.
So yes, be active about your shit. Don't let shit wait too long, you know.
For sure. So I feel like that was, I mean, from the outside looking in, it definitely seemed like that project was like another step up, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was like.
So just kind of talk about the reception to it, and.
It went great. Like it did great. It did what it was supposed to do. I'm proud of myself for that one, and I'm grateful for it. And worked really fucking hard on it with the crew. And shout out to Two Piece and Joe for the week of countless hours we put in to finish the mix on all the songs and all of that. But the reception was great. It did what it needed to do, and it opened doors in other ways to help build relationships, because it's kind of tough in the industry to even move up, I guess you could say. And sometimes people don't take you seriously unless you're investing in yourself, and that was an investment in myself. So yeah, and it was good. So I make good shit.
You do.
So,
no, for sure. I wanted to see what you thought. They played the single "Kill Us Both" on Joe Budden.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, if
what is this life? I'm telling you.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think about the whole situation?
It's just crazy. It's like it's just blessings on blessings on blessings, and I just be like, you know, I don't really know how to describe it other than it's God, you know, the universe working in my favor, because I was just about to post this the other day. It's like I have no nepotism in the industry whatsoever. So like a girl from where I'm from with no cousins, uncles, brothers, friends in the industry, like it's just like, what? Like that's crazy. It's really crazy, but it's really, I just know it's a blessing. It's almost like, I don't know how to put it into words, but that's
it. Yeah, honestly, it does seem like you know somebody or know somebody that knows somebody. Or
it's a tattoo. As soon as I got this, y'all. No, I'm just playing. Look. No, I'm just playing, y'all. No, I honestly think I got angels, like on some real shit. I got a mama in the sky. I got grandparents in the sky. They just be aligning the shit. And I move off of fucking love, y'all. Move off of love, and the shit is beautiful. It'll just open up, and I really feel like that's what's happening for me most of the time, and I just like let it happen. I leave room for, I make my plans, but then I just leave the fucking room. Leave the room for the blessings, because I can make all these plans in the world, and God be like, well, you kind of loaded up your schedule with all this shit, and I got all this over there for you, so what you gonna do? So I move off of spirit. Move off of spirit. When spirit tells you to move, move. Send the message. Fucking pull up. The whole nine. Do the shit. Invest in yourself.
For sure. Did you, kind of doubling back to the Joe Budden podcast?
Yeah.
Did you feel any type of way about just like the optics of it?
What do you mean?
It looks crazy.
It looks crazy. Like, wait, which
like when
part?
when the song started playing and he
Ain't
took
it
the
crazy?
headphones off.
Isn't that interesting? I don't know, Joe. What's up, Joe? You got be on. What's up? I don't know what. I don't know.
I don't think that's what it was.
I mean, it wasn't personal. The nigga don't know me, but or the man doesn't know me. I don't know him. I don't know what they got going on up there. What they be saying about what songs. I don't know how songs get picked. I don't know who he got beef with. I don't fucking know. I don't care. My song got played, Joe. So that was weird though. I didn't look too much into it. I don't give a fuck. I didn't take it personally.
Okay.
Do I need to, Joe? Joe. Joseph. Do we got beef? Joseph. No, we better not.
No, I don't think that's what it was. I just think it looked crazy.
It looked crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think we should resurface it and like I don't know. Do you think No, I ain't gonna say that. I'm being messy. Just continue.
Okay. Well, I don't want to dwell on that too much. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. So,
yeah, I don't know.
A couple things, you know, I mean, we kind of touched on one of them already, but one of the things I heard you talk about in another interview was like the importance of figuring out who was going to listen to your music. And I feel like that's not, like, people don't, I mean, it's like did you study marketing? Like,
I went to business school.
Yeah, so that's like a very low level, you know what I mean? That's one of the first things you do, but people miss that step a lot of times, and they just try to give it to everybody. And so just talk about that, because I feel like that helped, you know, your trajectory a lot.
Definitely. I think that's like the most important thing, is to figure out who your fan base is, because there's literally how many types of genres of music? And I think what triggered me to understanding it is like there's so many types of genres, and yet Garth Brooks can sell out the biggest stadium in the world, and I don't listen to country, but it don't mean shit because he can sell out that whole arena. So I just was really like, okay, I want to do that, so I need to figure out who's going to come to the concert and like I said, I went to school for marketing and learned that like stores play certain music, like they get that shit down to the details, like colors and all that type of shit. So I knew it was important. And then also I like to tread lightly with this, because there's like the balance of you needing to put yourself out there, but also are you putting yourself out there to rehearse and practice, or are you putting yourself out there for validation? And validation is a really slippery slope, because everybody and their mama telling you, clapping at I haven't been to a show since 2019 where they booed somebody. bring the booze back. Bring the booze back. Like, boo them motherfuckers off the stage. If the shit ain't good, don't clap. We not here to, y'all, everybody can't go, you know? So like, and it's good for the people on stage when they don't get a response. My best shows are when I have a shitty show because I learn. So I'm team bring the booze back because not everything is hot.
Let's stay there because I feel like there's a thing like, you know, you got to support and like nobody supports. And I mean,
sorry.
It's like, yes, right?
Yeah.
Like, but also, like you said, like
also,
everything can't.
Support what you like. If you don't like something, don't fake the funk and tell a person that they're dope or be at every one of their events or because you have this other agenda or some shit. Like, if you fuck with their music and you know their shit, great. But I don't know. It's an interesting time to be alive in music because everybody's an artist and everybody, you know, which I think it's important to try different things and figure out what it is. But I promise not this many people are artists. I just be like, yo, like, are we all singers and songwriters? I need to think about the trajectory of, no, I'm just talking shit. But I think we should bring back the booze, for sure.
I'm with you.
That's my,
I'm 100% with you.
that's my, yeah, that's my thing today.
Okay, for sure bring back the booze.
Yeah, or just the crickets. You don't even have to boo. Just like silence.
Just not the fake claps.
Because when someone's fucking up on stage, like, don't
that's
pity.
Worse, low key.
That's worse. Like, it's rude. I'll laugh at somebody before I pity clap, and they'll hear me. I will, and then I'll tell them when they get off stage. Look, I'll tell somebody the truth. That's why I got invited to be a judge for something. I was like, you don't want that. Bitches will not like me. And I mean both sexes. I mean that for both genders. Three, whatever, however many.
I judged something.
They were mad, huh? They was mad.
No, I didn't. I lied.
Oh, you lied? See, I can't.
I not lied, but.
See, you're the problem. It's you.
The crowd didn't lie that night though.
Okay, so good.
They knew.
Okay.
I just didn't feel like I needed to.
Reiterate it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But.
That's why I can't be no judge. I think people wouldn't like me. But I don't give a fuck at the same time, so.
One of the things I wanted to talk about, just like outside of the music.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense now. You say you went to business school, like entrepreneurship, like you're opening up all these businesses and, you know, just talk about that, like where that comes from for you.
I would say I honestly learned that like growing up, because I used to wonder that too, like as I got older, because it's not fucking easy. That shit is not easy. Like opening businesses, not wanting to work for somebody else means you're gonna work a lot more. But my dad was a painter and owned his own business. My grandma cleaned houses. My mom was like a writer, but like contract wise. So I just grew up around people who got to it and worked their fucking bodies to the bone. My grandma was a hairdresser too. She was doing all types of shit. So I've just always been around it. So I think whenever my last job before music, like I worked at like T-Mobile and I was like, worked there for maybe a month. It's an interesting ending I won't get into. But yeah, I was like the top fucking seller in like 2 months in the nation. No, I'm just kidding. Oklahoma. But anyways, yeah, I just get it. I work hard. I always have. And in basketball, sports taught me that too. So I think it's a combination. The working hard, I think, is a combination of sports. And then I've always been around like somebody who doesn't work for somebody else. It's a lot of work though. It's a lot of work. It's tiring. But yeah, that's kind of where it comes from.
Okay, for sure. So the other thing that, I mean, through the music and like your interviews, it seems like you have a very, like your spirituality is very important to you, right? So,
yeah.
Not necessarily that I want to get into like, you know, personally, but like like expressing that is not easy. So I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that.
Just like on my personal spirituality? Yeah. So I mean, I didn't grow up in church, and then I started going to church when I kind of got dragged to church when I was younger, which was good. Gave me something to do, kept me out of trouble. And then I went to, but I really had no ties. I didn't really I think back then I would have called myself a Christian. And then I went to college and kind of fell out of it. And then I went to the extremely Christian school and got really rebellious against religion. Now I really respect it, but I don't align with it. And my version and way I communicate to God is just vibrations, frequencies, people, being outside, just reading what's in front of me, So, yeah, in a nutshell, I'm spiritual. I don't even know what title I would give it, but yeah, I think God is everywhere, in everyone, good, bad, all things. So, yeah, it's a deep question. We can go deeper if you want, whatever.
Well, I really wanted you to kind of talk a little bit about being comfortable with expressing it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? And kind of just talking about through the music and
yeah, I mean,
even the fact that you just,
yeah, I mean, I think
took me through that,
I think it comes from a knowing now. I don't think I was this comfortable with it. I went through the phase of and I think everyone does through enlightenment, is when you start studying all these different religions, you're trying to find which one is it? Which one is for me? Which one is this? And then you discover you think everyone's wrong, and then you realize everyone's right, and then you're just fucked up mentally for a while. And then when you figure out it's really about what works for you and your relationship with God personally, and you come to understanding in it and you're secure in that, then I think being able to express it comes easier. But I wouldn't say I'm perfect in it. I'm learning. I recently had a friendship ending discussion about religion, and it was just I wish I would have read the room sooner to realize when to fall back out of the conversation and understand that person across from me just isn't there yet, and it's not my job to get them there, and where they're at might be where they're at the rest of their life, and that's okay. But I think it's just about reading the room, because yeah, we're in the Bible Belt, sheesh, it's a lot of. And even a post I had recently, it was just going crazy in the comments about, God and religion. And it is a sensitive topic because I think people attach their identities to the religion. And I find that problematic, and it's to each its own. The only reason why I find it problematic is because when we get into the depths of those conversations, you feel like I'm attacking you. And instead of standing on what you believe, you feel like I'm attacking you personally, and that's usually when it shows its head. But I'm getting better at learning to, and in that situation, I wasn't debating. I was really the middleman, which was crazy. They came at me. I was like, yo, I was agreeing with you. But yeah, I think it's just being secure in yourself and knowing that you don't know everything and being willing to listen to the person across from you. I feel like that would do humans just a lot of, I feel like we would move forward as a humanity if everyone would just let the other person be right. They're right. It's okay. And you can be right. For you, it's whatever the fuck works for you. So.
For sure. And so that post that you're talking about is one of the reasons that I asked that, because part of that made it onto the new EP as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, you touched on it a little bit, kind of the backlash of it, but just, I mean.
More comments.
Sure.
Be upset. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, it's the other side. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. So, let's just get into the new project.
Yeah.
The Way, right?
Yeah, The Way.
Okay. I mean, kind of give them a synopsis if they haven't heard it. I have questions, but I want.
Yeah. So The Way for me came out of a time where I was really shedding, if I'll be honest, a relationship and all the fucking holds that it had on me, and trusting myself and jumping and taking the leap. And if you know the Batman reference where he jumps without the rope eventually, took the fucking rope off and jumped. And yeah, that's kind of what pushed me to do it, because before I had a certain way of life before this last project. So it was kind of shedding the old, stepping into the new, and really believing myself to like take over really like fully of my life and myself and my surroundings and my peace, and putting myself first. So the way, you know, for you, for whoever, it is what it is. So yeah, it was kind of like a purge, I would call it, by fire, to be exact. Yeah. Okay, so one of, I mean, kind of doubling back on two different things. Like, it's fine. One of the businesses that you opened, you had a Hookah Lounge. Yeah. Okay. Is that still? No. Okay, and that has to do with the first song. Bow. Yeah. Okay. It's not funny. It's not, but I just. Yeah. I didn't know if I was like. No, it's fine. No, I mean, I don't even, but. It's fine. I put it in the song. Shit. Yeah, I know. It's out there. Yeah. So one of the songs is NWG, but there was supposed to be an S on that, but whatever. And yeah, it's a song about gun violence. So it's actually like a Baltimore Bounce type vibe, but the context of it is really about not only my Hookah Lounge, but just what I've experienced in Tulsa in the last really 3 years. I've had one of my, so I went on tour. I only had like 6 people on tour with me. 2 of those people have lost their kids, one to gun violence, one to a fentanyl overdose. My producer has been shot, and somebody's died in my parking lot. So gun violence and drug abuse and all that is like really rampant in Tulsa, and I'm sure a lot of other cities. So the song is like a homage to that. In the end of the song, you hear the actual police footage or the news report of that happening at our lounge. Yeah, so it's been pretty intense around the town, but yeah, that's kind of what inspired that specific song. Okay, yeah. Definitely. And then so the third song is God Talk, right? So that's part of that clip is, you know, you talking to the game about crazy. Again, crazy. Crazy, right? Yeah. So I mean, first of all, talk about that song and just kind of, if you want to tie back that post a little bit and just kind of, you know, what that whole moment has been. I mean, yeah, the song itself, it's just like a conversation with me to God, really. That's kind of my perspective of it. And whatever God is to you, that's kind of the perspective I was having of it. It's just my personal conversation with God, and like how, like, I just am fascinated with God, the concept, religion, everything. It has like a slice of the devil's pie reference in it as well. So I'm fascinated with like the yin and yang of things in this world. So yeah, that's kind of what inspired the song. And then when I met with the game, we ended up talking about God. And I was just like, when I was putting the album together, I was like, man, this kind of fits perfect. So I just chopped it up and did my thing and put it on there. And yeah, it kind of sums up the song. Gotcha. So I wasn't sure if the song, like, if he heard the song and that's what inspired the conversation, or... The funny part is, no. So when we were there, the last time I went back, I was like, hey, like, I want to show you the album, I'm trying to get the green light on it. Because, like, he hadn't heard it since I put him on there. And I was like, well, is this legal? Like, you know, all the things you think as an artist who's coming up and you want to be respectful and all the things. Well, I didn't get the link with him last time, so I was like, fuck, I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna just put that shit out. And luckily he liked it and all that good stuff. But yeah, it was a good time. No, so he didn't hear it until it came out, actually. So I sent it to him and he was like, this is, you know, great timing. Because he had his own shit going on, he told me, so it was kind of perfect timing how it all worked out. But he approves. So thank goodness. I ain't gotta take my shit down. But yeah. I tried to get it on there through the, what's it called? You know how like when you add an artist to your, like, put him as a feature? Oh yeah, I tried that, but the label wouldn't. The label was like, no. And yeah, anyways, good time. Independent shit. Yeah, is that
Is that the plan?
I mean, it would have to be the right deal, you know? I'm not gonna give it up for nothing, you know? That was great. But yeah, I'm definitely not gonna give it up for nothing. It just has to be right. The relationship has to be right. I mean, I'm so jaded about it because I do all the work now. And I be thinking like, y'all gonna wanna hire a new videographer and do all this and I'm like, I'm already doing it. And nowadays, there's not a lot of artist development. So I'm honestly more interested in writing for other people than I am getting signed. So that's kind of like, I mean, I'm still doing my own thing. I'm always gonna have my career. I'm always gonna pour into myself. But like, I make so much shit that it's like, yeah, I can write somebody's hit. So that's kind of where my focus is, as well as my music. But like, that's just a side focus because it's in the same wheelhouse. So it's not like I have to take away from what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I can just continue doing what I'm doing.
You're to the point you're in rooms now, you might play a song and somebody decides that they need that song.
I'd be like, here, take it. Please, take it off my hands, please. You can have it. Name your price, you know? So, yeah, I think I'm more interested in like a publishing deal rather than like signing to a label. Because I can just build the occult following and, yeah, tour for the rest of my life, you know? It's the goal.
Definitely. So, I mean, I know you just dropped a project.
I know, y'all just be wanting it right away.
You know what the next,
yeah.
you know, what's the next steps? Where are we going from here?
Man, so I'm like in between a part 2 of that last one. I'm also considering singles in between. There's a lot of different ways I can go. Because I write in so many different styles and the types of songs that I have, this is where the strategic part does come in, and I'm like, okay, y'all are eating up the neo soul songs, so maybe I'll do singles that are like that, and then when I get in my projects, I mix it up. So I'm considering singles, I'm considering projects, but don't quote me on shit, because I'm all over the place. You might, I don't know, you might get a whole 3 mixtapes. You never know with my ass.
A whole, what do you say? You want to be MF Doom?
3 mixtapes. Right.
You can come back out rapping?
You never, like, literally never know. I just wrote this rap song. It's hilarious. I'm trying to sell it, though. It's not for me.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I've got, you know.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Taking time out to come sit down with us. Excited to see, you know,
Can
where
I
you go
shout
from
y'all
there.
out and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to do a sign-off. I just
Okay,
wanted to, you know, close the interview. But, yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, cool. Okay. What's going on, OKC? Yes, it's me, Ayilla, here at the OakA. And I'm so blessed to be here. Grateful. We had a great time. So make sure y'all tune in because I just gave y'all the OakA.